Well, welcome to the Timeform Sporting Life Weekend Preview. David Ord, joined by Matt Brocklebank and Kieran to look ahead to the action from Newmarket and Ascot. Let's start at HQ. It's the Group 1 race of the day, the Virgin Bet Sun Chariot Stakes. Kieran, we've got the Timeform ratings for this. Frankie Dettori, probably got 2 or 3 days left riding at the great course. 499 winners at Newmarket. Timeform say that Inspiral could bring up the 500.
Yeah, there's every chance she will. She's obviously been an absolute star for connections, hasn't she? She had excuses in the Sussex Stakes, but she bounced right back and a quick turnaround to win the Jack LaMarois. Obviously, it does look a bit of a match on paper, doesn't it? In Spiral there at the head of the betting. And Marquis de Savine, the French raider for Andre Fabre, who actually won this with the same connections, Esoterique, a few years ago, who actually beat a Cheveley Park filly. So we've got a case of deja vu, and that's not a French trained horse name. But those two are obviously a little bit ahead of Heredia, who's progressing through the ranks. She looked a real potential top notcher last year when she won the Sandringham at Royal Ascot. She's bounced right back to form the last twice, hasn't she? And then a bit of a gap to the remainder. Matt, I know you're quite keen on Random Harvest for one or two reasons, which we'll touch on. Capice is progressing through the ranks as well. So there's a few in here that could progress, but I think it's between the very smart pair at the top of the betting, who probably have it between them.
Matt, let's talk about the Marquis, as we'll call her for this video purposes. What can you tell about her? Clearly powerful connections and a big Timeform rating as well. Yeah,
I quite like it. As Kieran said, her form at the start of the season worked out fairly well. She was beaten ahead by India in Group 3 at Longchamp. She split, obviously India, who's come out and won the Group 1 in Germany just the other week, and Rogue Millennium was back in third that day. And she's really delivered on that kind of early season promise. Last couple of starts through those kind of like Deauville summer, she won the Prix Rothschild at the end of July, and then followed up. She's not been winning by far. She did beat Via Sistina last time out, just by a nose, and she'd won by I think they called it a short neck the time before. And she's one of those horses that has got a turn of foot. She's a proper Fabre kind of filly that you'd associate with bringing over to these races. Look, you've got to respect the fact that Andre Fabre's willing to bring over, when he's done it in the past with Group 1 races at Newmarket, he tends to know what he's doing. I think she's bang up to this level. We know that she's a Group 1 filly. Dropping back to a mile, she's probably going to need them to go a bit of a gallop, and that would be my one concern. And it would be a slight concern with Inspiral as well, because we know that Inspiral is absolutely top class on her day. She likes decent ground, and she should probably win this. You know, you ask us both who's the most likely winner. I suspect would probably say Inspiral, but she's bombed out a couple of times in the past as well, hasn't she, the favourite? And around even money, you kind of, I'm tempted to take both of them on, to be honest. I know Kieran's fairly sweet on the Fabre horse, but I thought if the dead eight run, I thought we might get an each way bet. So
look at a video clue. Heredia winning at Sandown, Kieran. She does it well this day, but she's got about £11 to find on this performance if the two above her in the ratings are on song.
Yeah, I was just about to say the exact thing, Dave. This was in the Atalanta Stakes in Group 3. Good turn of foot down the outer. She comes fast and late, and it was a pretty decent renewal, I thought, but it is a big step up, isn't it, from Group 3 company into Group 1 company against a pair who've won multiple Group 1s between them. She's definitely going the right way, but she does have, near enough a stone to find, and her run style wouldn't necessarily be well suited to the rolling mile. Yes, the French filly, she does come from the back as well, but she's got a turn of foot, whereas Heredia seems it's a bit more gradual rather than instant, and you're just worried that she might not be able to quicken into that dip initially, but she'll probably be staying on at the end. Did the Yard win this in the past with Bills and Brook?
Bills and Brook won it for them.
Yeah. So obviously, Richard Allen among the Group 1 winners recently as well. She'll be there or thereabouts. I just don't think she's quite good enough.
So look at the pace, Matt. We've talked about they might need luck from running those coming from behind. What's the pace angle, Random Harvest?
Yeah, I quite like the idea about Random Harvest drawn 2. The stalls are on the far side, so she could potentially nab the rail over there. You've got to look at what Ryan Moore might consider on Meditate. She's definitely worth a mention. There was a fair bit more promise from her run last time out. That was in the headgear.
In the Matron, wasn't it?
In the Matron Stakes, in the first time blinkers, and they're retained here. Now, Ryan Moore, he has ridden her from the back as well before in the past, but he's also been able to mix it up throughout her career, and she has seemed fairly tactically versatile. So I would expect Ryan Moore will probably try and press on with her as well. But I just don't think there's going to be a proper even gallop. When you think about, obviously, proper Group 1 horse wants a decent Group 1 gallop. That's, when they're seen to best effect. And we have seen the odd turn up in this race in the past, not purely down to tactics, but I think that might come into play this weekend. Selection time,
Sun Chariot. The Brocklebank vote goes to?
Yeah, I'm going to, if there's 8 go to post, I'm probably going to bet Random Harvest each way. She's been a real star for Ed Walker. I thought she's definitely improved from 4 to 5. That's in the family as well. They do tend to get better as they get older. And her peak performances, well, she was just beaten at Epsom earlier in the year. That was in the Princess Elizabeth. She ran really well there. She's just a really tough filly. She almost toughed it out to win the Duke of Cambridge. That was her best performance. Came at Royal Ascot on decent ground. She does seemingly save her best for Ascot, and she's not from 3 on the rolling mile, but I do think tactically she might have things go her way because she likes to make the running. She was a winner at Ascot 2 starts ago, and then last time out, look, she was in against some good colts and geldings that day. 3-year-old colts, Knight, Charin, Holgan, Epictetus. She was eased off in the end. It was soft ground. That was in the Celebration Mile. I just don't think conditions suited her at all that day. Really good to see him look to turn around quickly again and go for the Group 1, because I think her attitude will get her a long way in this race, and I could see her rewarding some each way money. Now, if Inspiral turns up, she probably won't win.
Kieran, selection?
Marquis de Savine for me. There's only £1 between her and Inspiral on Timeform ratings. One's even money, one's 4 to 1. Makes no sense to me. I mean, you could even back her each way if you want your account closing by next Monday. But quickly mention on Coppice. She's apparently going to America. She could do really well out there. I just don't think she's a Group 1 horse over here. But yeah, stick with the Frenchie.
Let's move on to Ascot, the Howden Challenge Cup, a big 7 furlong handicap, top rated. We've got Fresh, major eye catcher last week. Kieran, top of the shop. What do you make of his chances?
Yeah, Fresh by name, Fresh by nature. He's been kept for this, hasn't he, after his run in Ireland at Champions Weekend. Listen, he's obviously a very, very good performer at his track. He's won it here 3 times. We'll see in a minute. It was a big eye catcher last time. He didn't get a clear run. He hasn't been missed in the market though, has he, Dave? He's about favourite, but this is really competitive.
Let's stick on Fresh. We can get the bit. I'll give our producer Dom a chance to get it up on screen. But we talk about Fresh and we talk about this eye-catching run at the cover last time. But when we're going to get the video up shortly, what is it about this run? Which horse is it identifying, and what was it that really took your eye with it?
Well, he's there in the all grey colours, but they're a bit muddy because it was a bit rain. But he just doesn't get a run at all. You see him there in the middle, just behind the one in white now. He's switched for a run, and then the gaps just don't come on multiple occasions. And he just looked like a horse who was really coming back to himself last time. And he's now down to a mark of 99, and he's won here off much higher marks in the past. It's a shame Danny Tuddup's not on him now. I'm not sure where Danny is. I don't know if he's suspended or he's abroad, or I'm not quite sure. But Jack Mitchell takes a ride. But he's a real typical Ascot ride, Fresh. He needs to be ridden cold. He'll come through the pack. Drawn on this near side rail, which I think is where they'll probably go towards. Everything's primed for a big run. Just the issue I've got is his price. He's 13 to 2 favourite, and if he was 10s, 9s, I'll probably be with him. But yeah, another key piece of form in this will be that race Kinalt won here last time. He's progressed rapidly through the ranks, hasn't he, this year? He won off 58 originally. He's now off 102. He's won 7 of his last 8 or something like that. He had quite a few of these in behind last time. And that looks at a key piece of form, but he got a very good ride last time, and I'd just be against him in terms of winning again. I think a couple in behind might be able to overturn the form.
Let's talk Potmaster, Matt. Not the Ken Bruce quiz. Now it's moved to Great Switch Radio. I don't think I've listened to it since Ken switched there. This is Potmaster the horse, winning at Newbury. What do you make of his chances?
Well, this was a very tidy performance. I'd say that, as a 5-year-old, this is probably a new career best from him. And okay, it came in a smallish field. A lot of his recent victories have actually come in slightly smaller fields, but he's got cracking big handicap form as well. He's a fantastic horse. Another one for Ed Walker, who's just seemed to get better and better. He really toughed it out this day as well, because again, having finished second in a lot of handicaps, maybe his attitude has come into question a couple of times, but he seems on really good terms with himself. It was soft ground this day. It'll be a bit quicker, but he has proven himself on various conditions throughout his career. What you would say, I mean, top weight's going to be difficult to overcome. He has the £6 penalty for that, but the handicap was going to put him up 9, so he's technically the best handicapped horse in the field, which Yeah, I mean, it's very hard to knock his claims on paper, but again, he's towards the top of the betting, and he does have that huge weight to overcome.
Kinnolt beat him last time, and he's £5 worse off.
Yeah, I mean, Potmaster should be going really close here, shouldn't he?
Yeah.
Last video, it's Ross Collin winning at Goodwood for the Horse Watchers, and Tony McFadden in our team. His family are involved in this. He's been an absolute money spinner for them this year. Tremendous, but Kieran does the grounder with you for this one.
Yeah, I think it is, Dave. He's been an absolute tremendous servant for connections, hasn't he? I must admit.
In the orange sleeves, and
in the Timeform sponsored horse watches. Yeah, I must admit, I thought he'd gone at the start of the year. He seems to have been around forever, but he's only 5. But he's been absolute star. He's won 3 times. This is him winning at Goodwood, and he won a shade Cosley in the end. But all his best form has been with plenty of giving the ground, and unseasonably for the time of year. We've had some hot weather, haven't we? And we're looking at potentially good ground. Now, usually Ascot's first weekend in October, you're thinking it's going to be soft. And he's back in a real top-end handicap. He was found out at Leopardstown when the ground was quite quick. And I just think he's got a bit against him, but, he's an absolute star for connections, isn't he?
Selection time, Matt. What are you going to put up in this?
It's a very good question, Dave. I mean, Ross Collin, he's been rekindled, hasn't he, by David Ord, who's just a fantastic trainer. He does run plenty in these races, so no surprise he's so successful in them. You've got to mention Escobar. I think he's on a really dangerous mark. Interesting that they've gone with cheap pieces for him.
First time in 6 years.
What, the cheap pieces? Yeah,
last year as well.
Yeah, he did win this race last year, and he has come down a lot.
Ties back on.
Come down a lot in the weights. I wouldn't rule out Orban either. O'Mara does have one, a 4-year-old though, that I do think that could just, if there's one that's the horse is going to just take this race apart, because there's a lot of, with all due respect, deadwood in here from a handicapping point of view. A lot of them look fairly sort of handicapped up to the hilt. This Pearl d'Or, I think he's a good price. He's 14, 16 to 1 in a few places. He's just another success story for David O'Mara. He got it from Ireland, another one, 40, 50,000 guinea purchase from Dermot Wells, and it's just, sometimes they can take a season or two to come good. Well, this horse has had a cracking year already. He's won the 2 handicaps, including over course and distance. Now, he hacked up at Newbury just a fortnight ago. He really did win well from scholarship on heavy ground. Now, he has got form throughout on softish ground, and he's a Star-Spangled Banner out of a pivotal mare, so no surprise he handles a bit of cut, but he has got some good to firm form as well, and I just wonder if he handles it, I think he's going to be a really tough horse to contain. He gets in under the £6 penalty under a low weight. Jim Crowley on, stall 9 in the middle. I think he's got a cracking each-way chance.
Kieran selection?
It sounds like Matthew Brocklebank's having a O'Meara tri-cast, but I do think Escobar run well. He's 20 to 1, like I say, he won this last year. Air Gold Cup, he's just not a 6 furlong horse anymore. He's 9-year-old now, but like Matt said, the cheap pieces are on, the tongue ties on. He's won a Balmoral here. They're going to go a good gallop, and he's going to be staying on. He can get first 6 places. I thought he was overpriced at 20s. I thought, bless him, another 9-year-old. We're meant to be tipping these sexy, unexposed horses, but I'm going to tip 2 9-year-olds because they're really solid.
Well, bless him and prefer the quicker ground, won't he, than maybe...
He will, and he's just not had things go his own way. He ran a cracker in the Royal Hunt Cup, a cracker in the Bunbury Cup, which he won last year, and then he ran in that race behind Kinnolt where they normally go quick in a race like this, and they just didn't. And then he ran last weekend, and Haydock 7 furlongs isn't his bag. Straight 7. Haley Turner gets on really well with him. He's going to give you a run for his money, and David Sims got going really well. So I'm going to tip both of them at 16s, first 6 places.
A couple of 16 to 1 chances for Kieran there. Then thanks to Matt and Kieran for their thoughts for this weekend. Best of luck with your own bets. And we'll be back next week to look ahead to a cracking card at Newmarket with the Dewhurst and the Sazavowicz.
You can watch more Sporting Life video by clicking on the left here, and you can download the free Sporting Life app in your app store now for the latest news, expert tipping insight and big race analysis, all at the tap of a finger. Users must be 18 or over to sign up to the Sporting Life app.